Hello, I'm Said, I'm from UK and I'm here studying in Bulgaria in Sofia.
My name is Gloria. I'm from Tanzania. I study in the Medical University of Sofia and it's my first year.
Hey, my name is Abdul Hanan Mahmood and I'm from South Carolina in the United States, and I'm a current student at Sofia Medical University.
Hi, I'm Alia Hussein Bhat. I'm coming from Bahrain. Basically, I'm from Kashmir and I'm doing dentistry first year at Sofia Medical University.
It started off with me looking into a medicine career, and to be honest, I came across some friends who dealt with Interhex and said that Sofia is a very good place to study, and I reached out to Interhex and they helped me make my dream come true, really.
The reason I decided to study in Bulgaria was actually from an Interhex video. I was looking into studying in Europe just because I wanted to change the environment from back home. So yeah, Bulgaria, I looked into Italy as well, Italy, Germany, but then they don't teach medicine in English, so I just went with Bulgaria.
Oh, that's a very good question. Bulgaria, obviously in Europe, has a very low tuition rate compared to the United States, and has a very high quality of education. So the pros and cons kind of, determined Bulgaria was my best option. I was considering like Pakistan, England, obviously United States, but tuition and the admission process to get into those countries as well was a little bit more extensive and tough than it was for Bulgaria.
First of all, I decided because it's an EU country. Sofia, Europe comes under the European Union, and it's a very old university. It's a 100-year-old university because of that heritage being an old university, a public university. So my parents decided it's one of the best things that I can choose for. Also, I had seen some of the videos and first impression I spoke to some people on Facebook before coming here, and they told me the university is good and the studies are really good as practical knowledge, because as a dentist you need good practical interaction with the patients. So they told me it's a very good opportunity to come here and do dentistry.
The country where I'm originally from, medicine is a very big pathway, and it's a very respectable pathway that I think is very beautiful. The way that you help people, take care of people, even in some circumstances, it's amazing. Sometimes you save people's lives. It's something that's a very honorable pathway of career.
I decided to study medicine because it's been a lifelong passion of mine, and I've been studying pre-med in America before I came here, and a lot of my family are doctors, and they've kind of pushed me on that path to, become a doctor as well. The most medical experience I have so far is just, working in a hospital as a volunteer in my local veterans hospital in America, in the military hospitals, and just doing some internship shadowing, just watching doctors, and just things like this. Nothing too extensive.
I would say it runs in the family. My grandfather is a dentist. My parents are dentists. So I would say it runs in the blood. But why do I think I'll become a good dentist? I've seen my parents working. I've seen their passion towards their work, and I have had the same passion. So I feel when you have the passion, you will turn out to be good at your work. Because at the end, even if the motivation is your passion in your work. If you don't enjoy your work, you're not going to be good at it. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, there'll always be a negative thought of why am I doing this, why am I doing that, and you will never be good at it. So I think I'll be a good dentist because I'm always optimistic of what I do, of my things, and I feel I have those skills of working as a dentist. I've seen my parents working and I enjoy doing the work, so I feel inshallah I will become a good dentist. It takes time. I wouldn't say as soon as I graduate I'm the best dentist. It'll take again 5-10 years of experience, then I'll be a very good dentist.
To be honest, I'm worried about the language barrier. Obviously, I don't know how to speak Bulgarian. I'm coming from the UK. It was surprising like how I came over to Bulgaria and I found out that many people can speak good English. Like I didn't realize it. I didn't feel like that was coming. However, it was a surprise to me, and I found a lot of people that speak good English, and even the language barrier between me and the students isn't such a big thing due to English being such an international language.
I worried about the language, but then thankfully Google Translate has been helping me. But then I'll learn the language. And also, I was worried if there were going to be any racism because, well, I've never been outside of Africa. But then there haven't been any, so I'm grateful for that.
Before I came to Bulgaria, I was a little bit worried about, how things would be, the temperature, accommodation, people, and stuff like this. But as soon as I got here, I realized how open and willing people were to help, and it worked out for the best.
I've never lived alone without my parents. My parents were also nervous about me, like how is she going to manage? You have to go out there, live alone, study alone, cook alone, everything is on you. So I was a bit nervous how what I would do, and I was nervous about who I would get as a roommate as well. Because I feel you need to have a good partner with you, with whom you're living. That's how you enjoy when you come back from university, you enjoy with that person. So I was nervous of all these things and how the people would be in the university, how the university would be. But it's all natural. When you come here, when I came here first, the day I came, I landed in the airport, I loved this place because it's quite similar to my hometown, Kashmir, the weather and everything. I slowly started settling in. It takes 1 or 2 months to know the city, to know the transport systems, to know how the university works. And then gradually you get settled. You know where to go to grocery, you know where to go to shopping. Then you try to make friends and start enjoying. So it takes time. I was nervous in the beginning, but I will assure you it'll get fine after you're here.
I mean, apartments and stuff like residency and everything, I got into contact beforehand. I made sure I was prepared with Interhex. I made sure I talked to my personal assistant, made sure I got all the advice, writing down all the advice. Moving to Bulgaria, the stuff that I packed essential stuff such as clothes, obviously the stuff that can't go through the airport, which are stuff with batteries and, obviously them prohibited things that you can't take through the airport. That's the things that I didn't take. I didn't take anything too extra. I just took everything that I needed, such as clothes and some foods as well, obviously snacks to get through the airport, and a few foods as well to store in my freezer when I get to my apartment. Obviously, I was sitting in an Airbnb just for a few days. However, I got my apartment sorted very, very quickly.
All I did was bring things that I wouldn't find here. So like hair products, because my hair is different. And yeah, that was it. Everything else I found it here. I got here.
Honestly, I didn't do too much to prepare for my transition to Bulgaria. I knew it was going to be an entirely different, change of pace, change of environment, everything like this. So I just decided, there's not much I can do until I get there. It's take in the culture and kind of put myself out there, Moving to Bulgaria wasn't as stressful as I thought it was going to be. Moving in general was pretty stressful, but the culture is very accepting, and people here are willing to help if you put some effort in as well. So there's not too much to worry about in your transition to Bulgaria.
The differences, I would say, are just like in the distance you would travel in public transport. Like for me in the UK, when I was in the UK, I used to take bus and every stop would be about like around 10 to 15 minutes. However, coming to Bulgaria, like the stops are very much closer and the bus takes way shorter, and like it's more convenient for me. I feel like I can find public transport wherever I need to find it and get my way around the city very easily. And the people who do, who manage the public transport are very experienced, and I feel like they're very good at their job. I would say responsibilities at home and chores and cooking and stuff, that's a way to get around that. You could use YouTube for cooking and online, anything online you could easily learn. Chores around the house, that's quite easy and simplified when you get used to it. The more you do it, the more easier it is. However, stuff like apartments and visa and all these other things, I feel like Interhex helped me a lot. I would be really genuine with my opinion on it. I feel like I got through everything smoothly with Interhex.
The weather, definitely. The weather has been so difficult to adapt to. But then if you have warm clothes, you're good. Yeah. And yeah, the weather, the language, yeah, that's it for me.
A huge difference between Sofia and South Carolina is there's no public transport really in South Carolina. Everyone just drives. You know, people aren't walking and riding bikes. Everyone's just driving. You know, it's a rural part of America, so a lot of farms, cowboys, things like that.
So I live in the Middle East, so it's a cultural shock. I would say the dressings, the food. The food here is different compared to Middle East. The weather is different compared to here. Middle East is most of the time hot. The weather here is pleasant. And then the different festivals. That's a new thing for me. Yes, the new people, new language. So that's a normal cultural shock. I wouldn't say a shock, but it's a new thing which you see. And it's good to have exposure. You learn different things. You learn how people are different here, how people are different back home. The high school, I would say, is the teachers, because the teachers are going to be the same for the whole year. But in university, it's different professors, there's different lecturers, there's different seminar professors. So in the high school, you know the subjects, you know if you have something, it's the same classmates as well throughout the whole year, and throughout your whole school years, you've been through those friends. But university is new people, everyone is new. There's no like a school friend. Maybe there'll be some school friends with you in the university, but everyone's from different place. So that's a different thing. And there's a cultural shock as well sometimes when you're in a different country, trying to settle down. That's because university is usually not in your home country. Like for example, now I'm not in my home country doing the university. So the first main difference is it's not my home, it's a different country. The second thing is the subjects are vast. The syllabus doubles up or triples up from high school. For example, if you have a small textbook for biology in the university, you will have a thick book. So just don't be scared of the thick book. It's just a book. It's just the university has more subjects now because you are entering a professional degree. Now it's going to be there for your whole life. So you should expect that you've chosen this and you need to go through this slowly and steadily. It'll be fine.
To be honest, at the start it was hard. However, I feel like Interhex helped me make a lot of friends by the groups that they put us in and coordinate us in. And there's a lot of people in the same position as me, so I felt like I can relate to people more. So over time, things ease out and you make a lot of friends. Now I have friends basically from all over the world, different countries, different cultures. I've met obviously people from Interhex through my group, and they're very, very nice people. And over the months of uni, obviously I've met new people, and I've found a lot of good new friends from all over the place. To be honest, in uni, we're all in the same position. We're coming from different countries by ourselves, and we're basically all in the same position. So starting a conversation of like how are you finding it here and things that other students can relate to will make it very easy to make new friends.
Personally, for me, it's easier to make friends, but some of my group mates are a little more introverted, and to each their own. It just depends on your personality and who you like to be around. But overall, it's quite easy to meet new people from all different cultures and make friends with them. As future doctors, I believe that it's a necessary skill to step out of your comfort zone and kind of explore individually and, decide what's for you, what's not for you, and just take it all in stride. In my group, Group 57, I have, it's a very diverse group. I have group mates from Italy, from Switzerland, from the Arabic Peninsula, like Syria and other countries like this, and 2 Indian girls as well, and 2 Greeks.
I've only met people from my group, and most of them are from the from the UK. There are some from the UK, some from Pakistan, and some from Sri Lanka, and I'm from Tanzania, so it's like super diverse.
First of all, you come from different backgrounds. You find a lot of international students in this university. So some of the students who are a bit introvert or who are coming from differently complete backgrounds, for example, someone's from UK but the other student might be from India. So there's some completely different backgrounds and cultures. But when you come, there's a bit of, you need to break the ice in the group when you converse. So you need to come out and open up and show yourself that, okay, I'm from this place, introduce yourself, talk around, go to the libraries together, study together. That's how you will feel comfortable with the group. Because some people don't feel comfortable in the initial stage, but slowly when you start interacting and study together, do the work together, assignments together, you'll find your group interactive and helpful, definitely. Because you're here for 6 years and you're together in this. You can't be alone, so your group will be good, don't worry. In my group, I already have some people from the Middle East. I know people who have come from the same places, so it's all normal. You will definitely find at least one person from the same background, and you'll find many people who share same interests, same thoughts, so you will make friends like-minded people.
I would say that I spend about 3 hours a day in the uni when I'm at uni, like the days I have lessons which are in person. Online lessons such as Bulgarian and Latin, sometimes I have only them on one day and they're only 1 hour and I have the whole day to myself straight after. So there are some days, even some classes have some days which are completely free due to the organization of their timetable. So they might have an online and an in-uni lesson. So they'll have that one day of the 5 days of the week in the middle there where they're absolutely free and they're very comfortable in their day. And I feel like spending that much time in uni, it's not a bad thing. I mean, when I'm in uni, I feel really comfortable. It's not something that you'll feel like, oh, I'm trapped in class, I'm tired. I feel like it's a very, very good thing. I would say closer to exam session, I wouldn't have that much time for, I would say, to relax. But obviously everyone's stressed in exam session. But however, this is my situation. I didn't prepare that much in the start. I would say if you prepare and you organize your studies, you will find a lot of free time. And in that free time, you can have time to yourself, time to chill, that quiet space that you need, time to roam around the city, have more fun, new experiences. But however, I would say to do that, you must have the discipline to really organize yourself and organize the hours to, like, you know, to prepare yourself for that long-term freedom that you want. So I would say just organize yourself and you have a lot of free time to do a lot of things. In my free time, I like to roam around the city. I like to see friends when they're free, and I also like to, you know, sit at home, watch movies or something like that, talk to my family online over a video call or anything. I feel like that really supports my mental health.
First semester is indescribable. It's something I've never felt before. It has definitely increased my respect for doctors 100% because they have to go through this. There's a lot of memorizations that I have to deal with. Yeah, but then other than that, everything else is fine. I actually have way more free time than I thought I would have. I'd make free time for myself just to rest. But yeah, other than that, I just study and read because that's what I like doing. Studying, reading, and sleeping.
First semester's pretty rough. I'm currently in the first semester right now, and a lot of studying, but it's manageable, you know, it's manageable. If you have good time management, everything works out. My time management could definitely be improved, but, you know, as time goes on, from the first day I've definitely improved, you know. It's a process that takes time, but eventually everyone, you know, in the medical university will kind of get accustomed to how to manage time. Daily schedule looks, wake up 6, 7 a.m., you know, eat some breakfast, get ready for class, and then kind of just take on the day, you know, stay at university till like 5, 6 p.m., and then come home, start studying, take some time out for the gym, and just rinse and repeat. Obviously, you know, studying all day, every day will burn someone out. So there should always be a balance of study and free time. You know, a good way I like to do is, you know, there's 3 8-hour periods in a day. You know, one for sleep, one for studies, and one for relaxation. So kind of allot time into each category, and it'll be fine. In my free time, you know, I try and go to the gym, hang out with friends. You know, there's a lot to do in Sofia, so you're never bored when you're free. You know, you can step outside, you know, hang out with some buddies, go to a coffee shop, go to a bar. There's plenty of things to do. Sports are, there's a lot of, you know, kids coming together, and we play like football on Sundays, and you know, there's different teams for different people. You know, if you're interested in football, there's plenty of people playing football. You know, if you're interested in other sports as well, there's plenty of people that are probably interested in that. You know, coming from all corners of the world, there's a lot going on.
Favorite subject I think would be cytology right now. Anatomy and cytology, it's interesting subjects, but they're hard at the same time as well. Biology is also hard a bit because it's vast. But I would say cytology and anatomy, I enjoy them. Plus my dental subjects, dental materials. I enjoy my dental subjects because you have some kind of practical work in that, so you feel like you're doing something, not just theoretical. So I enjoyed the dental subject and anatomy and cytology. I would say the hardest would be cytology again, because it's a very vast subject. Practical work, in cytology you will have to see the slides under the microscope, identify them, the staining and everything. Anatomy is you go with the bones, you see the dissection, you go to the dissection room, you study the bones, the skull, the neck, the limbs, joints. And physics and chemistry is quite simple, there's not much of practical, it's similar to what you've done in school. Again, in biology you have some of the slides which you see under the microscope. Again, it's interesting, a lot of parasites, you see them. And in dental we have prosthetics. We carve out the teeth from the soap, and we have dental materials making impression materials, impression trays. So that's interesting. The first semester is quite hectic, I would say, because I would say it's hectic because it's a jump from high school to university. It's no longer your high school studies, you go home, have some homework and just finish up. It's university, so you need to study on a daily basis your topics to keep up with the topics. And there's a lot of practical work we have in dental. We have a lot of carvings and stuff which we do at home for 3-4 hours. So I would say it's hectic, but not that hectic. You do find time. Like 2 days in a week, if there's a weekend, so you're free on the weekend, then on some weekdays you have less classes, you go back home early, you have time to cook or do whatever you want, go shopping, go outside, explore, go out with friends. Whenever we have no classes on some weekdays, I call up my friends, message them, let's go out. So the other day, I called up my friend, let's go to NDK, and then we got on a tram, we got on a random tram, got on a random stop, and started exploring the place. So that was interesting, and turned out we were near Central Railway Station. So it's nice, just get on a bus, just get on a tram, get down somewhere, start exploring, start walking, you'll know the place, and start speaking in Bulgarian as well. You'll know, okay, this is how you speak the language. That's how you enjoy. So that was a nice thing we do every time when we go out with friends. And then go out to a restaurant, have something, come back. And then after that you feel better to study. Because like you enjoyed your time, now you got the motivation to study. So give yourself that free time as well. Don't just be focused every time to study, because at the end you're a human. You need some free time as well.
To be honest, I would say the exams, obviously the first semester exams, you know, the start of uni, you start to try adapt and everything, and you get caught up in a load of things. However, if you plan from the start and you start revising from the start and you really take it seriously and step by step, I feel like you can easily smash out any exam you want. I would say revise with friends, find people that you really get along with, people that you can relate with. Sometimes you need to vent to someone, sometimes you need support from friends. However, it becomes really easy over time. Like the motivation you can get are either from your teachers, because to be honest, the teachers are very, very friendly over here and they really do help. They give good motivation. However, I would say mainly your friends, because when you're outside of uni and you're by yourself, I feel like friends are a big thing over here. And I feel like everyone's in the same position, so they have no problems in helping you out. To be honest, like, I find the books at uni like very, very useful. I feel like they get straight to the point, they're condensed, they're very good. Students in the upper years, when you make friends, they help you with making notes and giving you tips on revision and organising your time. I would say YouTube videos are very good, just as long as you search up the specific topics and specific sectors of the subject. I feel like it's very useful, and I feel like you can get through the content very easily. Like I said, you just have to be organised, and you have to also be disciplined, because if you don't want to study, sometimes you feel like you wake up, you're lazy or you're tired. However, if you really just think about the reward you're going to get for it, I'll promise you it's worth it.
This time I have 2 exams for winter. I have cytology and medethics. I actually enjoy medethics more because it's a bit more like law, and my other interest was to be a lawyer. So yeah, that's why I enjoy it. For cytology, I just go through the slides because we take pictures in the laboratories when we're going through it. So I go through the slides. I make questions for myself while I'm studying. So then I'll go back to them every time I study. And for medical ethics, same thing. I make questions while I'm studying, then I go back to them, and I practice by myself, like orally. I study better by myself, so I just do that.
For studying, mainly, I try and study myself in the beginning, but as studying progresses, I slowly reach out to my group mates, and we study together. We check out the anatomy museum, different places like coffee shops, different places, and we'll just meet up and study. As exam season is going, my hardest subject in my first year right now, first semester, is definitely cytology. But anatomy and bio are also up there, but cytology definitely takes the cake on the toughest one in the first semester. Our professors usually tend to give you some preparation, like tell you how to prepare for each professor. Each one has their own method, and it's usually just a bunch of reading at home, kind of studying before classes, but nothing too hard. My number one strategy for the upcoming exams are just daily revision, keeping a solid schedule and following it. If you have time slotted out to study, I would definitely say study with like a full heart, and after you're done studying, you'll realize you have a lot more free time to hang out with friends, go to the gym, but definitely make studying a number one priority and keep a solid schedule and stick to it.
So I'm a morning person, early riser, so I would sleep early and wake up in the morning around 6 or 7 and start studying till 8 or 9 if I don't have a class. So I would study till 9 o'clock, then have my breakfast, go to the class, come back again, make some lunch, again start studying till afternoon. And if I have again a class, I would do that, and again in the evening, maybe after 7 till 10 or 9, I would study. I would say when you're studying for exams, study for some hours. Don't study just for half an hour and then go on a long break and then come back, because that way you're breaking your rhythm of studying. Study for 1 hour continuous, that way you're focused on the subject properly. You will cover more, you'll retain more of the information. Study for 1 hour, then take a break, you'll feel accomplished. If you do things beforehand, before studying, if you waste your time, and then you study, you feel like, oh, I wasted my time, I should have done this, you have a regret. But when you study and then do your things, like free things, recreational things, or even go through your phone, you'd feel like, yes, I did something, and you have that kind of accomplishment feeling. Because as humans, we need that satisfactory feeling every time we do something good. So that way I would say, and weekends, utilize your weekends properly. Go out, enjoy, and keep some time for studying as well. Keep those days when you're having less classes of university, keep those days for covering up the material, what was done during the week. That way you will figure out your way for the exams. It's not that hard, it's not that deep, it's easy. I love organizing my time because when I don't organize, I feel like it's going haphazard. So I don't like a haphazard schedule. I do organize myself. Like now we have our first semester exams coming up, so I've made a plan of how to go about the syllabus on a day-to-day basis, cover this subject this much. So yes, I have good organization skills.
The uni has made it very easy for me to learn Bulgarian. I feel like the uni really does help out. Their teaching, the quality of their teaching is very good when it comes to languages. So when it comes to stuff as Bulgarian, like the national language, like they've made it very easy for me to learn, and they're very good at supporting me in doing so. I find the language to be, first thing, an interesting language. However, it's beautiful in its own way. It is easy to learn if you do really delve into it and try to talk to Bulgarian people outside. When you learn common phrases, I feel like it becomes very easy over time.
Bulgarian language, it's a bit difficult, but I've already started knowing the alphabet, so I can read something even though I wouldn't know what it means, but I can read it. So yeah, I'm getting used to it. That will be fine, I guess, after like 3 months, hopefully.
I would say it's not so easy language and not so hard. It's just you need to practice on the pronunciation because it's a different language you're learning. It's a nice language though. It's a very nice language. It takes time to learn. Maybe 6 months you will know the language if you go through your Bulgarian lessons. We have Bulgarian lessons at the university, so if you're consistent with that, you will start to speak. I think in 1 week I was starting to say hello, hi, and thank you in Bulgarian. Благодаря. First we started with the greetings, the conversation, like how would you ask someone, how are you? And I would say I'm a student, studentski, and where do you live? Timings, how to say time in Bulgarian, how to say numbers, colors. So we're at the basic level of how a grade 1 student would learn Bulgarian. So it's going good. It's going very good.
For me, there's 2 parts to it. I would say I keep in touch with my family online. However, like the friends over here, if you really open up to people, like I said, people will really relate to you, since you are all in the same position, so it comes naturally to people trying to support you and do things for you. And at the same time, you'll come to like a natural selection of your options with people, and you'll realize that you could do things for other people as well. I would say friends is obviously the biggest part to that. They really do support you. However, for me, there's also parts to it like religion. However, if religion isn't in the picture, I would really say friends, like they help you a lot. They help you study, they motivate you to do a lot of things.
There was one time I had so much to do. I had exams. I had so much to memorize. I had so many assignments, and I had such little time. And I just stared out of my window crying. But then after that, I just took a deep breath. I prayed, and then I just take everything one day at a time. Do not burden yourself with so much stuff. If you can't do it now, you can do it later. And if you don't understand it now, you'll definitely understand it later. Just have hope.
Coming from so far away in the United States is definitely a lot of times where I feel homesick, but it takes a quick step outside, go hang out with some buddies and it'll be fine. Mental health, obviously, it affects everybody. I personally, there's times when I'm studying where I feel like I can't do this, I want to give up. But, there's a lot of things you can do if you feel burnt out. You go to the gym, pray, call your parents even. There's plenty of things you can do to kind of pick yourself up again after you're feeling down.
Last week itself, I was speaking to my parents and saying it's very hard. It's hectic. Sometimes you feel like, where are you? Why have you come here? far away from home, but that's natural, I would say, because you're on your own here and you've never been on your own before. I would say, at least for me, I've never been on my own. And university is different to school. One more thing I would say is now you are going to be a professional doctor or a dentist. So you are going to be working on patients, real patients, human patients. So you should have that kind of sense of responsibility. So that responsibility comes, and you should expect that things will be hard when you go through the professional degree. So yes, you will have some down points. I wouldn't lie that yes, no, everything is a fairy tale. No, there will be some times when you're like, it's too hectic, it's going overboard, you feel like, I wish I was not doing this. But you should calm down and tell yourself you chose this because it was your passion. You want to become a doctor, so you should see the goal and try to think it's just some time, for some months, then it'll be okay. Once you clear it, you're going to be a better person as a doctor. So just have a self-talk sometimes. Talk to your parents. I would say talk to your parents. Don't hide anything when you're feeling low. Talk to your friends. Open up. Don't keep it inside, because the more you keep it inside, you're feeling more depressed. And make friends, because you can't be alone in a different country just on your own. You need to have some people to speak to who have same interests. That way you will calm, you'll have your nerves down. It will not be nervousing or stressful, it will be calm. I was scared of what if I failed the exam in the first sitting? What if even after studying I fail? And what if like I don't complete the practical trainings on time? What if it doesn't get approved? What if I fail? But those what ifs are very natural. But as long as, I would say, you will always have those thoughts, but what you need to tell yourself is that if you fail, it's fine. There is a next chance. It's not the end of the world. You have a next sitting. Because most of the time when you think, oh, I'm going to fail, you're giving your body those kind of vibes of, you're going into negative aspect. But if you keep yourself positive, and then you will have that positive mindset of, yes, I can do the exam, and yes, I'm sure the exam will go well. Because as long as you study, it's not going waste, it's going to be in your memory and you're going to pass the exam. And in case you don't make it the exam, there's a next chance. So the more you study, the next chance is also waiting for you. The next resit is also waiting. Sit the resit and go. There's no harm in sitting a resit. It's nothing a bad thing. No one's gonna say, oh, you had to go through a resit, because it's all normal. And don't think what people are going to think if you fail the exam or if you have to do a resit. What if my parents say this? Because just be open with your parents. I couldn't do it, I found it hard, let me give you a next try. The more you give a try, the more you become better at it. Because when you run, you don't run 100 meters in one day. You go through a practice of 2-3 months and then you run a race. So it's a process. So keep in the process, be in the process, and you will come at the end of the goal. I wouldn't lie that nobody has a breakdown. Everyone has their own breakdown at some point of, I can't do it, it's too hard. And sometimes some subjects, they are very bad at they're very low at their subjects. So it's fine. So, for example, I might be very bad at physics probably, but I might be good at anatomy. So you should accept that you have some flaws of you not learning some subject. Just work on that subject, it'll be better. So whenever you get these negative thoughts of, I can't do it, I won't be doing better, or this subject is hard, push away those thoughts and be like, if I try it, it will come out. You just have to take that step. Everything is quite reasonable. The transport system is very, very efficient and very cheap for students. Like you have a student transport card, it's very efficient. You can go to any part of Sofia with that student transport card. So I would say nothing is expensive here. I mean, it's reasonable. It's quite reasonable place, especially in Europe. It's quite reasonable. That was one of the reasons I chose Sofia as well, because the living expense is not that heavy on you. It's reasonable and it's budget friendly. If you're worried about finding halal meat products or halal food items, don't worry. There's a street called Arab Street. You'd find everything. If you're worried about spices, you would find everything. I found myself some of the spices which we use back home. I found everything. You find halal meat, you find halal restaurants. other restaurants like shopping, international shopping outlets, like if you go to malls like H&M, Zara, all of those. So don't worry, you have everything in Sofia. It's a capital, so you're in a good place.
I like that I'm safe here. Yeah, I feel safe. Actually, I feel more safer than I felt at home. Things here are very affordable, and that can be tricky because I find myself buying things that I don't need just because they're affordable. So yeah, I like that, and I like that I live close to the mall, so if I need something I can just go down to the mall. The good thing about food is that the food that I like, I know how to cook the food that I like, and it's very accessible. You could use Glovo or takeaway.com, so they bring food to your home. And no, it's not been hard accessing food.
Before coming to Sofia, I realized there's a lot more here than what I previously expected, you know. Coming from America, you don't really hear too much about the Balkan regions or, you know, a lot of Europe even, so I didn't have too high of expectations, but I was blown away when I came to Sofia. Just how open everyone was, how willing to help you everyone was, and, you know, the amazing food, the extensive history, and amazing culture as well. Going to different malls and shopping outlets, I definitely find a lot of options. There's basically a store for everything you're looking for, you know. But it is quite different than back home. But it's everything. Everything you need is available. Actually, over here, there's a lot more options. You know, back in South Carolina, they have quite a few options, but it's very limited to like Chinese, Japanese food, or, you know, Mexican food. There aren't really varieties for like donors, Turkish or Arabic food, you know, classic Bulgarian food, Italian food. There aren't really too many options back home. Eating out is actually, like I said before, you know, there's way more options here, you know, even for people of, you know, the Islamic faith, there's halal options, there's options for everything almost, you know. It's very open to your own choice, whatever you want to eat. My professor, you know, brought some classic Bulgarian food and took class, and it was great. You know, he was kind of telling us how people in Bulgaria eat and how it's similar to Greece and Turkey and all of the Balkan region, you know. I find the locals very interesting. Some of my neighbors are very cool, you know, they're kind of showing me around, teaching me some new local things, you know. Telling me all about Capito and in the Vitosha Mountains, and, you know, just making my life here a little bit easier.
My apartment situation, I feel like is very good. I previously mentioned that the transportation in Bulgaria is actually very, very good. Surprisingly, I thought, you know, I wouldn't be able to adapt to it, but I found it very easy to adapt to. So even if you live a bit far away from the university, the public transportation is very quick and swift. So you can get away from far away places to the uni very easily. So I feel like it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Obviously, living closer to the uni would be way more expensive. I live alone just because I feel like I just need my own space. I need my own space sometimes when it comes to things that, you know, like I said, you all have mental struggles. Sometimes I just need myself to myself, you know, I need some chill time to myself. Like, just need a bit of quiet space to really think and take everything in. However, I feel like if you get a flatmate, I feel like it's a good thing. I feel like I've seen flatmates that get along very well. I would say get to know the flatmate before you get with them, because obviously I've seen things go left and I've seen things go right, but mostly I've seen things go right because of everyone, they're in the same situation, and like I said, making friends does become easy here if you really do open up, and you'll find yourself connecting with other people very easy. So I feel like getting a flatmate, it's a very good thing. Like, it's a very good thing. Like, sometimes, like I said, you need to speak to someone, and it will be really satisfactory if that someone is just in the room right next to you. So I feel like it's a very good thing.
Accommodation in Sofia it's been pretty challenging. I'm currently living alone right now, but I do have some future prospects for roommates. But you know, first semester I figured I might as well live alone and try to get the lay of the land before I, you know, make that commitment to live with somebody that I'm not too familiar with yet. When I was looking for accommodation, I realized that some things were very important. You know, for example, the distance to the university, what grocery stores were around, what public transportation was around, and things like this. Just the necessities to kind of get to from school, get my groceries when I need to, and go to the gym. My huge difficulty was, you know, getting in contact and being able to speak with the real estate agent. But Interhex provided, you know, personal assistance, and they kind of eased that. You know, moving in and buying things for my apartment in the beginning was a little tough, but you just need to buy the essentials, you know, plates, cups, you know, coffee machine. In order to get these items, I generally just, you know, looked up on Google, where can I find this around me, you know? And luckily for me, there was a store called Kaufland and a store called Billa that was pretty close to where I live, and it was easy to just catch public transport, head there, and head back. I've kind of noticed a trend where people aren't too happy with their first apartment, and they usually want to change start of the second year, end of the first year, and you know, they meet new people also in the first year, so change of roommates, even getting a new roommate or adding on a roommate, things like this. I think a big reason for the change of apartments or flats is the initial, you know, stress and rush into getting accommodation in Bulgaria to begin with, you know, in order to get a visa, in order to finish applying and get some documents sorted out. It's a lot of people I've noticed generally tend to rush into just finding an apartment, sealing the deal, and then kind of figuring out where to move later on. I would advise, you know, take your time in looking for that initial apartment, even if it means you have to stay in Sofia in a hotel or Airbnb. I would definitely just take your time, find something that suits all your needs, and just take it as it comes.
Apartment hunting, I would say come here. So if you start hunting apartment from when you're online hunting, it's fine, you'll get an idea of the price and everything. But come here, have a look at the apartments, have a look at the areas, because you want to live here, right? So you should have a physical appearance of what the apartment looks like, what the area is, how far it's from the university, are all the things, other things, because it's an individual preference. Maybe I would like groceries and everything to be nearby. Some people wouldn't mind to travel a bit farther to do their daily shopping or essential shopping. So you should come here, have a look at the city, have a look at the place. Maybe your friends are also living nearby, so you could live together in the same locality, so you can go to the university together, come back together. So it's always a good idea to come here, have a look. Also, because you have to sign the papers when you sign a rental agreement. So it's always good to come here, see the rental agreement, see the apartment. And Interhex also helps you with the rental agreement. They give you an idea of what it is, so you will know that you're doing the right thing. So it's always a good idea to come here, meet your landlord, see how it works out, and the further things of the apartment hunting. So come here.
I look forward to getting my degree, really. That's all I'm looking forward to as of now. And to connect with more people, you know, relate with people. Yeah, to change my perspective and stuff. Yeah, to be more grateful about things.
A big thing for me for studying abroad was, you know, meeting people of all different cultures. You know, having the opportunity to travel to nearby countries in Europe and to visit a lot of historic and cultural places. My plans for the holidays are usually to go back, visit family, but you know, now that summer's coming up as well, all the countries, Turkey, Greece, all that, seem like viable options to go have some fun. Bulgaria is a very nice country because it has mountains, it has beaches, you know, a lot of countries next to it that people want to visit, you know, a lot of holiday destinations. So there's a lot I'm planning on doing here. I do have a list of places I want to go. I'm huge on mountains, so I definitely want to check out Vitosha.
When I went around Sofia and I was like, yeah, this is a nice city. I went to Plovdiv as well, so that was also exciting. I wanted to go to hiking, but I was trying to settle down and try to make friends. Maybe in spring, maybe we'll go, and that would be a wow moment of doing a hiking, because I've never done hiking. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the clinical years from third year, because that's when it's going to be interesting. Right now it's a bit theoretical and basic preclinical trainings which we are going through. But I'm looking forward to interacting with the patients and going through the hands-on experience. That's when it looks like we are going a step closer to becoming a dentist.
I would like to go back home, you know, but however, I'm also reconsidering like trying somewhere new. I mean, I feel like I've become very comfortable in Bulgaria, and I feel like I can adapt to a new place if I take my career path anywhere else.
I do have a plan. I plan to take gynecology after graduation, and I'll probably do it here or anywhere else in Europe.
My path after graduation is yet to be determined. I thought I knew what I wanted to do, but as I'm going through school now, I'm thinking this might change.
I probably want to do something related, more surgery related, probably in oral and maxillofacial surgery or implants.
Honestly, just don't be scared. Go for it. I promise you will never regret it. You'll find people in the same position as you thinking that, oh, I'm worrying about this, I'm scared about this, I'm a bit nervous about this and that. Trust me, just don't overthink it. Go for it. If it's a career that you want, I promise you'll be happy by taking that risk. And I promise you that risk always ends up good. If anything comes up in the way and you're dealing with interhex, I promise you they will help at their highest capability to get that out of the way for you. And I promise you, you will find some of the people over here, you will fit in with people, you'll find friends. Just as long as you keep it genuine and you open up to people, I feel like you'll find your way around here very smooth. I feel like coming into Bulgaria, like there was a few obstacles, like I said, socially, but I said this again and again and again. If you open up to people, not like literally personally and deeply, but if you open up to people like where you're from, you let them know what's your background, I feel like you will find people with the same background. Actually, there's also groups. There are also groups within the uni, and there are like societies. You will find a lot of people that you'll get along with, and I feel like it will just make your life way easier. You'll meet upper year students, you'll meet first year students in the same position that you are in, and I promise you, all of you will work like a team. It comes naturally.
Not gonna lie, studying abroad it's a big step. You know, you're definitely stepping out of your comfort zone, but so is becoming a doctor. You know, you have to help people, and you have to kind of get accustomed to stepping out of your comfort zone. You know, doing things you don't want to do in order to, you know, better your own life and help other people out. Parents shouldn't be stressed about their child's education, livelihood, or anything like this, because, you know, Sofia, once again, is the capital city of Bulgaria, and it's very accepting, very open to, you know, many different people. People come here from all over, and it shows. You know, the culture is very open.
I would say to the parents, don't be worried if you're going through interhex. Like, they will do the work, they'll follow up with every step. So you just have, what you have to do is just do the things what they said to you on time. Just don't delay it, do it before the deadlines are given. So the process is on time and your applications and everything are submitted on time. Then the next step for parents is settling down their kids here. I would say just, if it's possible, it's always better for the parent, at least one of the parents, to come with their kid or the student here, settle them down, see where they are staying, settle them with the apartment, the university, to the daily essentials, just show them around. You can also see the city as well. So I would suggest if you do this, you're the parents are mentally assured that yes, I've settled my kid there and they can go back. Because personally, my parents came with me, they checked out everything, they helped me with everything, settled me down, and they went back. So they're assured that yeah, she's living properly and there's no problem. And even if I have some problem, I can speak to them. But when the parents always have this worry for their kid, it's natural. So I would say just come here, settle them down, and everything will be normal. I would say a tip for the future students or whoever is in the first year. I'm myself a first year student, so I wouldn't say I have a lot of experience here giving you some tips. I would say when you come here, take your time to settle down and find people. You don't have to rush in making friends. Some people, when they come, they think that they have to quickly make friends, and in that they don't find the like-minded people, and they're like, I'm at the wrong place, my school friends were better. Your school friends are your school friends, so just take time when you come here to make friends, see your interests are matching or not, go out often, and when you're studying, there'll be some times when you feel down, and maybe there'll be some people in your life, definitely, who will say, yeah, it's hard, just drop it, just drop off, it's fine, just drop off. There are some people who will put you down and be like, not motivate you, but don't listen to those people. Just listen that you have come here for a reason, and you're here for some years, so you have to go through it, you have to do the things. So whenever someone says it's fine, if you can't do it, just leave it, drop it off. Don't get into those things. And some people will say, oh, the university is very hard, it's hectic, it's not this, it's that. So don't listen to these things. See the things from your point of view. If you see something from someone else's point of view, you're always going to see from their point of view, and you're never having your own point of view. Have your own point of view, and to have your own point of view, you need to take time to analyze things. Analyze it yourself. Don't get into someone's words like, if I say anatomy is hard, don't take that anatomy is hard. It's just, for me it's hard. Maybe for you, something else will be hard. So it's your point of view. And everyone's a different individual. So just don't listen to people who tell you negative things. Always look at the positive things, because in the end, you need positivity in your life to go ahead. If you're always negative, you won't be able to proceed through your things or through your studies.